Today's project, we're going to cut in the nail nick on this folder blade. This knife is going to get a straight pull, meaning the blade, the nail nick, instead of having a scalloped out little loop, is going to have a straight line going along the top edge of the blade there. And the way that I'm going to do that is by grinding it in with a Dremel cutoff wheel. And the way you see this setup here, let me open up the vise so you can see what's going on. Inside the vise, you'll see that there's a parallel block here. Now this parallel block is 1/8 of an inch wide. And what that means is when I put this blade on here, the parallel block, you can see this line right here. The parallel is wider than the blade, so when I clamp the vise closed, it's gonna grab the parallel and not the blade. So what I am doing is taking a second blade here. I'm gonna set that on the parallel. And let's close this vise up. And then I'm going to set, a little bit too tight. I'm going to set this blade on top of the parallel, just like that. I'm going to make sure that's down flat on the parallel, and then we will snug that up all the way. Looking at it from this perspective, so there's our cut line, and the cutter is going to traverse that line just like so. So what we'll do now is we will set up the height by bringing this cutter in close to the blade. And then we will eyeball that cut line on the cutter. And as you can see, that line, don't worry about that stray mark up there. The line looks like it dips down a little bit on the right. So let me adjust the piece in the vise again. All right. And now we'll run it across that line again. And the angle that I'm recording is that you can't really see it the way that my eye is lined up. But that is good right there. So we're going to use the DRO here. We're going to make this the beginning of the cut. So on the x-axis, that's going to be my 0. And on the y-axis, which is moving in and out, moving the cutter in and out to the workpiece, we'll start up and we will touch off. Can you hear that? That is going to be 0. So we'll come up here, we will 0 that. The reason that matters is this one is going to be our depth of cut. Right now, 0, meaning the cutter is directly on the face of the blade. This is going to be our left-right. This is going to be our leftmost cut on the blade. And we're going to traverse all the way over here. Get some light on there so you can see it. We are going to end our cut at 700. So we're going to go from 0, 0 to 700, back to 0 to 700. And the way this is going to work is we'll come down to 0, and this is in thousandths of an inch. For anyone watching from outside of the United States who understands millimeters, we're going to make this cut about 40 thousandths deep, 45 thousandths deep, about half the blade thickness. So if we were to back this out, let's call it 50 thousandths. 50 thousandths would be about 1 1/4 mil. Get that back to 0. All right. So what we'll do is we'll start the cut. As it starts cutting, we're going to feed it in 5 thousandths of an inch, and then we're going to traverse the workpiece to the end of travel, advance 5 thousandths more, and come back this way. So each pass is going to remove a strip of 5 thousandths material, and we'll advance 5 thousandths each time until we get about 50 thousandths depth of cut. Here we go. 0 and 0. We'll start the mill. And we're going to use this wheel to advance. All right, close enough. And now we're going to start moving the workpiece that way with this handle. And if you notice, I'm a moron, right? So I write little notes here. If I want to go left, I go that way. So I'm going to turn. I'm going nice and smoothly here. No need to go fast and make our cutter wheel deflect. We don't want that. You know, you may think you don't have time to go slow, but just remember, if you think you don't have time to do it right, there's always time to do it all over again, isn't there? And we're going to go to 700. There we are. We're going to bring our speed up. We're going to advance. Now we're going to come back. And I will repeat this until we get to depth of cut. And here we go for the last pass. I ended up going a little bit deeper. As you can see, we've already gone down to 60 thousandths depth. The reason for that is I hit my depth going this way. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to be climb milling, if you were, on my final pass. Climb milling meaning I'm moving in the direction of the rotation, right? I want to be coming against my cut because this is a grinding wheel. Okay, and I'm gonna, once I get to depth, I'm gonna cut that out, and then I'll go back and forth a couple times to make sure that the cut is smooth and polished. I also want the entrance of the cut and the exit to be as smooth as possible. So let's feed in. All right, nice and easy does it. There we are. Sneak up on it. Beautiful. Now I'm going to go back and forth a few times without touching the ends of the cut because I don't want to booger up my plunges, as it were. And then I am going to drive this away while it's still running so that I don't get any flex in my cutting disc. All right. There we have 65 thousandths deep slot, straight pull. Thanks for watching. I just wanted to show you this in parting. I took a Sharpie there and went across the front of the blade because I realized that in the video it was hard to tell the stray mark from the cut. But this straight pull here, it's shiny down in the bottom. I like it. I like straight pulls. I know that you know, there's some people who really don't care for it. They feel it's non-traditional. I love the way that they look.